The Daytona 500 signals the beginning of the new racing season. Today signals the beginning of the Daytona 500. The stars of the sport have left winter in their rearview mirror. And now the pursuit of NASCAR's biggest prize takes the green flag. The goal next Sunday, finish first. Today the goal, start first. The new year brings new opportunities, and every driver knows the chance to start strong starts here at Daytona. 10 months, 36 races, one champion. Who will it be in 2006? A driver chasing his 5th title, or one chasing his 1st? Only one man can defend it. This man has one last chance to win it. The Daytona 500 is a mix of challengers and champions, chasing a rich purse and a priceless title. Today, 5 miles that set the stage for 500 more. The season of hope and horsepower starts now at Daytona. Good job. NBC Sports presents NASCAR. Live from Daytona Beach, Florida, it's Bud Pole qualifying for the 48th running of the Daytona 500.
Jeff Gordon earned 2 big headlines in 2005. He won the season-opening Daytona 500, but then he missed the chase. A major retooling near the end of last year, new crew members, a new crew chief. Gordon enters Speed Weeks 2006, renewed enthusiasm, and a lot of motivation. His team, they have pulled out all the stops. His race car, just like last year, over 100 hours in the body shop, 40 hours just in paint. The flames, airbrush. This team ready to kick off pole day, to put this car on the front row, and then back into victory lane. He rolls off 55th this afternoon. Today, Burns.
Well, Bill, this is one of the final cars to go out onto the racetrack, Jeff Gordon's. It will be a contender for the Bud Pole at the end of the qualifying session. It is one of the final cars into the inspection process. This car was pushed into line at 9:50 this morning Eastern Time. 3 hours ago, this car went into line, and it's just getting to the first station. You see the NASCAR official underneath? NASCAR issues the rear shocks and springs that the teams have to use here at Daytona. Once it leaves this station, it goes through what they call the Room of Doom, where they check all the body measurements against what's supposed to be legal. And this process takes a long time. 3 hours for this car just to get started in inspection, and he won't run for another couple of hours yet.
You saw that tool that the inspector had in his hand. Looked like a hockey stick.
Can we check with Alan?
Hey, Bill, still following the progress of Jeff Gordon's car through the tech inspection line. That's where it was in that room last time we checked. Here's where it is now, 40 minutes later. It's still at the end of the line, and it hasn't moved all that far. Oh, maybe 25 yards or so. It is a painstaking process to get a car on the track through tech inspection at Daytona. Jeff Gordon's qualifying run still to come. Bobby Labonte leading Bud Pole qualifying.
Run, and we go back to Alan.
The Chronicles of the 24 car. It's nearly 4 hours since the crew pushed the car to the back of the inspection line. He's just about to clear the second to last stop on the process. They've fit all the body templates to NASCAR's liking, so the car is going to be pushed from this room down about half the length of the garage, where it'll go across the scales and have its final check before it goes to the back of the line. Jeff Gordon still to come. He's probably sitting someplace comfy and warm watching his team go through all this to get his car ready to run.
Get an update from Alan.
It's done. Jeff Gordon's team has made it through inspection. 9:50 Eastern Time this morning, they put the car in line, and now they've finally cleared all the NASCAR templates, all the different spots on the inspection line they're supposed to. Getting ready to push the car now out to the starting grid and take their place at the... Oh, wait a minute now. Maybe they're not. Maybe they didn't get through that last station. Let me check on this. I'll get back to you. They've just lifted the trunk and brought the toolbox over. They may not be done yet. Keep that clock running, Matt.
AB.
Okay, so in the last inspection station where Jeff Gordon's car had to go on the scales, they weigh the car on all 4 corners of it, and it has to have a specified amount of weight on the left side, the right side, the front, the rear axle weight. They have to make a little adjustment to their rear axle weight. You see the crew doing that now. Then it'll go back through that last inspection station and get put across the scales again. Bill?
All right, Alan. Clock continues to run. Alan.
Well, here it is. Now the final stop for Jeff Gordon's team in the inspection line. Jeff has, the team has cleared up that left rear axle weight distribution. Now they get the spoiler check. You see the official with the protractor on the rear spoiler and the team adjusting those braces that have to be bolted in place. That's Steve Letarte, the crew chief, there with the NASCAR official. So from the time this car went into line to now, to get it through inspection and get it out on the grid ready to qualify, we've done, 4 hours and 29 minutes and counting for just probably another half minute more. Now, this was the last car to get in line because he's the last car to qualify. The first car to get in line went in significantly before that, and these officials have been working on these cars the entire time, let alone the crews trying to get them through and ready to go.
And they do it every week, Alan, but here at Daytona and at Talladega, it's a lot of work, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're going to go through this entire process again next Sunday.
We'll watch Larry and talk to Marty.
Well, finally, the number 24 car has made it to the front of the grid. Jeff Gordon watched the entire process on NBC, by the way. And that's a long process to get your car through inspection, isn't it?
It is. I want to thank Alan for all the drama. Because
scaring you to death, right?
Yeah, I was exactly like he said. I was over in a nice warm place in my bus watching on TV. Everything was fine, and all of a sudden I see this, drama starting to build about my car going through inspection. I thought there was a problem. I had to leave. I had to go find out. And they said, no, it just takes that long. So, yeah, it is a long process. And, it's just a long process getting ready for Daytona. The guys on this DuPont Chevrolet team, they pay attention to details so well, and we were well prepared. And I hope we got a shot at this thing because they've worked their tails off to not just go through that inspection line, but, just to prepare over the offseason, get ready for this event.
Yeah, I was talking to Steve about the paint job. He said that's all painted. All those flames are hand painted, and then their airbrush just because he didn't want any edges on the car. That's a lot to go through to maybe save a hundredth of a second, possibly, and maybe even not.
Well, I think as hard as they work on everything else, they just don't want to leave anything unturned and any stone unturned. And they like I said, they pay attention to detail, I think, better than anybody, and that's why our cars run up front. Obviously, Hendrick does a great job with the engines to create power, but you got to complement that with a great body and really just take care of every little thing that you can possibly think of. And we've thrown everything at it now. Only time will tell, and the clock will tell here in a minute.
And you've seen those times. It's going to be a tough time to beat, but you were second fastest in that final practice yesterday. Can you knock them off the pole?
We were second fastest, but we got to pick up a half a second, So
well, that's nothing.
You know what? It's like Steve and I were talking. We're either going to run a 48 flat or we're going to run a 47-40. We have no idea what's going to happen.
All right, Jeff Gordon, certainly one of the threats for the pole position for the Daytona 500.
Thank you, Marty. 49 of the 58 cars have made their qualifying attempt.
Touch the brakes. Yeah, we, all cars do it here for qualifying. Daytona and Talladega, you try to, you pretty much wire tie the brakes back so the cars can free roll and take away as much drag as you can. So I don't know if one of the wires broke and we had some dragging or what, but the guys will look at it and we'll fix it, but we'll be okay. Third is nothing to sneeze at, Hoss. We're going to be up there near the front come Thursday. We know Ford Fusion's driving good, and we'll get them. I got a great race team behind me. We got a lot of confidence in each other. We're just ready to go racing.
And you can see the confidence. He's hoping to be in the same place as the guy who's on the racetrack right now was 1 year ago in Victory Lane.
And that would be three-time Daytona 500 winner Jeff Gordon. And we watched this car go through inspection throughout the afternoon on NBC. And now Gordon making his qualifying attempt at Daytona.
What did he say? He could run a 48 flat or 47-40. Really had no idea how fast this car was going to run. First lap is
28-27.
Yeah, that's not as good as some of these other cars have been. So I don't think he's going to be up in the top. Might be in the top, let's see. Might be in the top 5.
24th for the 24 car. Where'd you say he's going to end up?
I'd say about 5th.
Okay. Second lap for Jeff Gordon, defending champion of the Daytona 500. Missed the chase for the championship 1 year ago, but has come here with a lot of confidence and expects a very strong season from himself and his team. Four-time series champion off of 4 to the checkered flag at Daytona to complete his qualifying lap, and he said 5th.
Survey says
he broke the thing again.
I guess. Oh, well.
Waiting on the computer scoring to update.
Come on, computer.
You got that hammer, Wally?
It's a big hammer right now.
It does, doesn't it?
Just when you need your stopwatch.
Second.
Oh, my goodness.
Front row.
Oh, he ran a 65.
How about
Great
that?
lap.
Just knocked Dale Jarrett to the second row.
I told him I don't know 100 fast.
Steve Letarte, Gordon's crew chief. So right now it is Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon on the front row for the 48th running of the Daytona 500.
So in the duels on Thursday, currently we have Jeff Burton, Dale Jarrett on the front row of the first one, Jeff Gordon, Elliott Sadler on the front row of the second one.
And that'll split up the teammates, won't it?
Yes, it will. But they'll be back together on Sunday. Right. Here's Matt Yoakum.
And Jeff Gordon, second fast. I think the only guy disappointed on that run is Steve Berg, who really is in charge of your plate stuff. Beautiful paint job, great performance.
Well, we let him adjust his spoiler, so we're going to blame it on him. I don't know how many hundredths of a second we're missing it by right now, but I'm just really happy right now. You know, that front row is so important here at Daytona. The pole obviously is something we'd love to have, and Jeff Burton and those guys put up a great number, but you know, we just hope we can hang on to this front row starting position. That'd mean a lot for us, and we can, you know, just focus on the 500, you know, and really just do everything we can just to get the car now handling as good as we can. Drove great, everything looked good. I knew it was going to be really, really close. You know, just pay attention to RPMs and all the gauges from yesterday to today, and DuPont Chevrolet Monte Carlo was strong, but I didn't know what we were going to have. And then the more drama added by not knowing exactly where we were at on the board, so we had to wait for that. But second, I'm real happy with.
And that did last for a little while, didn't it?
What's that?
Waiting for the number to pop up.
Yeah, the drama, you know, just continues all day. I mean, 4.5 hours to get through inspection, and then you know, 30 seconds before we know whether we're second or fifth or first or wherever. So that's a great effort. I mean, it's, like I said earlier, so much hard work and effort goes into this, and Bergie, you know, he is the only guy that's probably disappointed, because he's the guy that's one of many that are putting in all those hours for this effort here at Daytona. We love coming here to Daytona. We hope we can do something with that front row start.
Wally, that car spent 100 hours in the body shop. Still on the front row, he says. 40 hours of paint on this 24 car.
Those cars are pretty, BP. If you went down and looked at them, you know, I mean, a lot of these guys are going to those decals.
Yes,
but those cars look beautiful.
They are just gorgeous. You know, we've talked all these years about DEI, how they had some engine people that worked on nothing but restrictor plate engines. Well, Hendrick has people that work on nothing but restrictor plate cars and engines as well. All right, Jeff Burton, Jeff Gordon on the front row.
Jeff Burton, Jeff Gordon on the front row for the 48th running of the Daytona 500.